Hello friends, welcome back. What a funny little ending of that piece. It's a delightful piece, sounds a little bit like something you might hear at a carnival. I'll tell you, it's no carnival, this piece. It's dicey. This is a piece, it's a concerto written originally by Prince Johann Ernst. This was back in the day, this was in Saxe-Weimar in Germany during Bach's time. This was the time when royalty and people of high standing often were musical or artistic. And Prince Johann Ernst was a composer, he was a musician as well, and he wrote this little concerto for strings. And Bach, we don't think about Bach as someone who did transcriptions, but he did. There were several concerti, this being one of them. Another was several others by Vivaldi. He took string pieces by Vivaldi and arranged them either for organ or harpsichord. So that's the idea with this delightful little piece, again, which is no walk in the park. So I hope you enjoyed that. And it's sort of a crazy ending, that scale. How it just sort of trails off, and not quite sure what that would have been like with the strings. But anyway, with the organ, it's not a piece you'd want to end a concert with because nobody knows to clap. So I'm going to move on from that to something a little bit quite different, actually, a modern American piece. This was written in 1988. This is from a larger work called Rubrics, a liturgical suite for organ by Dan Locklair. Mr. Locklair is the composition professor at Wake Forest University in North Carolina. And he's written a lot of music for a lot of genres, but he has written actually a lot of organ music. And this particular piece, very interesting and colorful set called Rubrics, based on, in our Book of Common Prayer, there are little italicized lines that are sort of instructions for how to do worship, and that's what we call those rubrics. So he picked some rubrics and set them. The one I'm going to play today, one of my favorite pieces, is called The Peace May Be Exchanged. Now, if you're familiar with Eucharistic liturgy in the Episcopal Church, you know that we exchange the peace sort of midway through the service, but that's not where it says the peace may be exchanged. It's actually in a very specific place in the prayer book, in a service in thanksgiving for the adoption of a child. And that's where the line, the peace may be exchanged, is written, and that's where he took that line, that rubric, to set this piece. So the interesting thing, it's very lyrical, very beautiful, accompanied sort of with string sounds and sort of a solo, fluty kind of line, but has double pedal throughout. So the pedal, I'm playing sort of two notes at a time, both feet are busy, but it's a wonderfully lyrical, peaceful, serene piece, which we can certainly all use now. Always makes me happy to play this, especially after playing something sort of frantic like the concerto. So this is The Peace May Be Exchanged from Rubrics by Dan Locklair. just make you smile. Such a really lovely, lovely thing. The other movements of the suite are great too, particularly the last one is called The People Respond, Amen. Crazy piece, and includes a pedal glissando, which is a lot of fun if your pedal board can take it. So I hope you enjoyed that. Just a few words about going forward. Next week I'll be doing a concert from what we call the Little Organ, on loan from our good friend Fred Jodry and Brown University. I've done this once before. It's a very small, self-contained pipe organ of 3 ranks. It's down in the nave of the church. And I'll play some early music for the Little Organ, the portatif or chamber organ. The following week, David Hines, our wonderful associate, will play a program of organ music for you. And then the last week in June, we will, hard to believe we're talking about the last week in June. David and I will give you a real special treat for that last concert. We're going to do some duets, both at the piano and maybe even at the organ, if he can talk me into it. So that will be the end of June, and then we'll take a little time off in July and August, but hope you enjoy these concerts for June. So today to close, I'm going to play another favorite piece. This is the Franck's Chorale number 3 in A minor. Franck wrote 3 chorales, this one, the last one, and I believe the last piece that he actually composed. It was shortly before his death. Franck was a major 19th century French composer, wrote a good body of organ music, and it's considered, a staple of the repertoire today. The chorales have very different, each one has sort of a different timbre. They're all a bit on the heavy side. I've always loved this one. It's very sort of rhapsodic at the beginning. Then there's an exquisitely beautiful section in the middle with a sort of trumpet oboe solo, and then a big dramatic ending, as you might guess. It's an extended piece and really lots of fun. Uses lots of reed stops on the organ, so lots of trumpets, oboes, that kind of sound rather aggressive sound, familiar with some of the French music. Again, they're called chorales. It's not really a chorale like we would think of a chorale, like a German chorale or hymn tune, though Franck actually does give us a little bit of what sounds like a hymn tune, a little bit. That theme appears throughout the piece in varying forms. So anyway, I think I've worked this out so I can do it without a page turner. So there are a few page turn tricks that I'll have to pull as I go along, so be patient and hope that all works. I hope you're having a good week. I hope you're enjoying the summer-like weather, staying safe and healthy. Miss seeing you all here at Grace. Until that time, we'll leave you some more great music. So this is Chorale number 3 in A minor by Cèsar Franck. Thank you.